done. Yes, Mr. Frodo. It's over now.
Wait, don't go in there. He's doing his podcast.
Hello, true believers. We're back with another episode of the Successfully Failing Podcast.
What's happening?
I bet you're happy.
Yeah, I'm kind of happy. It's bittersweet, but...
Yes. How you doing, Chris?
What?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so we're back with another episode of the shit show that is the Successfully Failing Podcast, a show where we talk a whole lot of crap about a whole lot of crap. And today, we've got some super special, awesome news. The NBA playoffs are over.
Yes.
Finito. Thank you, Frodo, for letting us know that. And we've got some more E3 news. The final two big conferences went down, pretty much wrapping up E3 for the most part. So before we get into all that, do me a favor, head over to Successfully Failing TV on the YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. You can check out every single episode of the Successfully Failing Podcast, as well as any other videos we put up there. Do a lot of live concert videos, video game stuff. We try to get more into the live streaming sometime soon. We've got Warped Tour coming up in a couple of weeks, so I'm gonna be showering you guys with a bunch of videos of that. You could also follow Successfully Failing on Instagram at This Is Successfully Failing. You could follow yours truly, the lame ass Darko, at The Real Danny Darko. You could follow this buff man right here, Xavier, at Xavier Lewis 45. You could follow the Men of Men.
X Lewis 45.
Did I say X Lewis 45?
You said Xavier.
Oh, X Lewis 45. Sorry about that. And you can follow the Man of Men, excuse me, Chris at CRS 463. And you can follow the missing link, Nick, at Pakpakwe, PACWAY. And also, make sure you subscribe on the YouTubes and everywhere you listen to podcasts. Alright, so, first things first, the NBA Finals, the NBA playoffs are over. The Golden State Warriors win the series 3-1. Kevin Durant is...
4-1.
What's wrong with me? 4-1. 4-1. Kevin Durant is your Finals MVP. And we've got more excuses for LeBron.
Really? Yeah.
Yep.
Was it this time? It's just his teammates suck.
Yeah, you know what? Like, all right, Kevin.
Well, if anything, it's just that he handpicked them. So
that's the thing. He wanted these guys. Now, my thing is this. Like, all right. Matter of fact, before we get into the bullshit of things, I compiled a long list actually of LeBron James' accomplishments. So, in no way are we discrediting his ability and his career as far as like awards and statistics. There's just a lot more that goes into it, especially when you bring up the whole is Jordan better than LeBron? I mean, is LeBron better than Jordan? So he's got three-time NBA champion. He's a 3-time Finals MVP. 4-time regular season MVP, 2008 scoring champ, 13-time All-Star, 2-time All-Star MVP.
He won a scoring champ?
Yeah, 2008.
Wow.
That's a surprise to me. 2-time All-Star MVP, all-time playoff scoring leader, which he just passed this year. 2017 J. Walter Kennedy Citizenship Award. What that is, I have no idea. 13-time All-NBA player, 11-time first team, 2-time second team, 6-time All-NBA defensive player, 5-time first team, 1-time second team. Player of the month, East Coast Player of the Month, 34 times. East Coast Player of the Week, 55 times. 6-time Rookie of the Month, 3-time Olympic gold medalist, 2-time gold, he's 3-time U.S. Olympic medalist, 2-time gold, 1-time bronze, and a FIBA America's champion. So that's a long list of accomplishments. So before anybody starts crying, saying, we're just LeBron haters, look, he has a fucking long list of accomplishments.
I'm by no means a LeBron hater. I'm just stating from the era of the different eras of NBA I watched.
Yeah.
It's just completely different from this era, from the era that I grew up with. So
yeah, like the whole can this team beat that team? Is this team better than that team? Especially when you talk about when you compare 87, 88, 70 something to now, it's really hypothetical because you can't. It's never gonna happen. You'll never know. But when like X said, when you look at the eras that these teams played in, the way the game changed and evolved now. Yeah, the game has evolved. It's become a different game than past years. But what we're losing in this generation is defense and team basketball.
Yeah, I know Jordan never played against a team like Golden State and all that. I know that, but at the same time, nobody in that era want to huddle up and be like, hey, let's join this team just to get the easy win.
Yeah, if
just imagine that. Hey, Patrick Ewing, Tim Hardaway, and Reggie Miller, and all these people be like, on the free agents, let's just come to a team so you can just take out Jordan and all that.
Yeah, it's not.
Imagine that.
I mean, granted, everybody wanted to take out Jordan, but you wanted to be the guy that led your team, the team you came up with. So if you came up with Charlotte, you're gonna stay with Charlotte and hope that you have the right coach, the right and it's all about toughness and heart. Now it's just like, all right, we can't beat them, join them.
Yeah.
And all right, so we'll get back into this argument, but so with the playoffs, they're knocking Kevin Love. Now in the last game, Kevin Love he shot 2 for 8. I don't know how much he came up with at the end of the game. 2 for 8. All right.
Kevin Love was very underwhelming.
Well, that's the thing. But here's the thing with that too. He only took 8 shots. So how much of that is his fault? It's not like he went 2 for 18.
I guess he should take more shots and be off on that. Be like, 2 for 18, and then it would really be his fault. There's no winning for that guy.
All right, what's his name? J.R. Smith actually shot well.
Yeah, he actually stayed home that night and not hit the bar or whatever. And when he was 6 for 6 and threes or something like that.
Why do I think that Cleveland lost? It's not because of their team. They're not coached. That team, that roster, if it was properly coached, it should be able to beat Golden State. As good as Golden State is and as good as Golden State can be, when you talk about LeBron being the best player in the world with the guys he's playing with, when they lose, they make it seem like he doesn't have any help. I mean, granted, they didn't play well all around as a team, but now you're making it seem like he has nobody. Like he's back in the days of where he played with Boobie Gibson and what's his name, Gooden and all that.
The last time LeBron James has been coached is with when he first left Cleveland. Who was the coach? Mike Brown, right? And I don't even think he even at that.
No.
He got Mike Brown fired, and they hired Byron Scott because he handpicked them, and he left.
Yeah, what baffles me is that David Blatt last season, before they fired him, had 35 wins before the All-Star break.
Yeah. LeBron got everything to do with that. I don't care what I hear in the media. LeBron just doesn't want to be coached. He just want to well, from what I've looked at, LeBron just wanted to do what LeBron wants to do.
Yeah, and he may not go about
'Cause
things.
he cannot look at me with a straight face and tell me that Tyronn Lue's a coach.
Yeah, like, dude, if Tyronn Lue was coaching the Knicks, they'd be worse than what they are now. And I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but this guy has no real experience. I mean, he has a little more experience than Fisher, but I mean, you're not saying he can't be a good coach, but just yeah, like if you can't, I don't know, if you can't win with this team, like it's crazy. There's always an excuse, and then the thing is, oh, you know, he doesn't have this, he doesn't have that. Look, why is that Kyle Korver only took 3 shots? Something's wrong if you're the best player in the world and you know how to run the offense and orchestrate your team, but you're only getting the ball to Kyle Korver 3 times for 3 shots. When in Atlanta he was giving you problems because why? He was getting the ball, you know, at the right time. He had a point guard that knew when to get him the ball. They had a system. This is why Golden State is so good, not because of the players they have. Granted, that helps, but you can have all the players in the world and no system, and I mean, and that's why LeBron only has 3 championships. All right, I will admit that the first year that Kyrie and Kevin Love and LeBron played together, they both Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love both got hurt, so that's kind of unfair to say that. You know, even though they did lose, and didn't that go to 7?
No, I went to 6. I
Like
believe.
6, right? Yeah, but with you know, they had injuries, so you kind of can excuse that.
Oh yeah, Kevin Love had that shoulder injury.
Yeah, Olynyk pulled his shit or whatever earlier in the playoffs.
Oh.
But so you have those those years with Miami where everybody was healthy, and in the last 2 years, so you have only 3 championships to show for that. You know, if it just doesn't make sense. Like what and they always find somebody to blame. Like yeah, Kevin Love wasn't effective scoring, but LeBron and Kyrie Irving took almost 60 shots together.
It's hard to blame somebody who's averaging a triple double in the finals.
Well, hey, LeBron, I can't put the blame on him. But it's the team, it's the entire team, and everybody. Just because LeBron James is on a team, all of a sudden they're like, I still stand by my gut by my statement that if say LeBron was to move on, and they kept this team, if they had a decent coach, they could still win games.
Yeah, but hey, LeBron don't want to be coached.
And it's funny too. They're already talking about possibilities of him leaving again.
I love it.
Oh, I had to
It's-
shut down somebody saying
I love it.
going to Cleveland.
That just doesn't make sense. But yeah, like
One of my coworkers was telling another coworker, "Oh, Lowe's going to Cleveland." I said, so I just inserted myself in the concept and said, "No."
if Melo goes somewhere, I promise you, unless hell's gonna freeze over, it's not gonna play with LeBron. Yeah,
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to Cleveland.
at this rate, no. But I just don't. He's one dude that I don't think he's gonna go there. It's like he's LeBron's friend. They're friends, whatever. But he has that sort of like that. You know, Melo's that old school mentality. He has an old school mentality where he wants to beat him. I mean, maybe it happens. I don't know. But anyways, the whole thing was that they're talking about LeBron possibly leaving. You know, after his contract is up, and it doesn't surprise me. But it's stupid that they bring that up when, all right, yeah, they didn't win a championship, okay, but like so every time if he does leave, what does that say about him?
I don't know.
Somebody's gonna try to justify that.
But the thing is, when I look at Tim Duncan, he won like what 5 rings with that same team
They lost.
his whole career.
Yeah, they've lost.
I mean, I think that looks.
Oh, Duncan's undefeated.
No, I'm saying no. Before in the finals, he's undefeated, but going to the finals, like in the playoffs, he's lost. The Spurs have lost plenty of times,
Mm-hmm.
but he has 5 rings. Kobe has five rings with the same team.
And he lost.
Who did the Miami beat? For
Dallas. Wait, with with
the
Dwayne
first
Wade?
one they
With Dwayne Wade?
Yeah, with LeBron and Dwayne Wade. The first one was
Dallas.
They beat Dallas.
Oh,
No, it was
No,
the
they
Thunder.
beat Dallas before. Dwayne Wade and Shaq beat Dallas.
Dwayne Wade and Shaq. I'm talking about Dwayne Wade, LeBron, and
Dwayne Wade and LeBron beat OKC.
OKC, and what about the team after that? It wasn't the Spurs, right?
Yeah, they didn't beat the Spurs. OKC and who the fuck? Wow, I'm trying to remember.
The Spurs beat them, but that's.
Yeah, I know they didn't beat the Spurs. If they beat the Spurs, then I'm bugging. But who else went to the finals? Yep, we gotta look this up. Research.
It was like 2012.
2012 NBA Finals. We might be wrong. No, they beat OKC in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have to have been in 2013. 2013 NBA Finals. Yeah, they beat the Spurs. Okay, so they
It
did
was-
beat the Spurs.
it was
Oh,
the
so the
Spurs.
Spurs did lose a
Yeah,
championship.
I figured that because I remember it was like Spurs. The Spurs were winning, and it was Ray Allen that brought him in.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. That's that series that Ray Allen took over.
Everybody was leaving, all mad, and Ray Allen brought him back.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. So I mean, what does that say about him if he leaves? Like, yeah, okay, yeah.
He's gonna
maybe-
handpick another team again.
and it's like people justifying that, like, all right, cool, he does what he does on the court. He puts up these numbers. He does help the teams. You know,
He went to the finals, like what, twice in a row with this squad. You know, I don't think he's leaving. He ain't leaving.
It makes no sense to me if he does. Like, it would be really stupid if he leaves. Just like it that would be the dumbest thing ever. I mean, you come back home. You know, yeah, you lost championships, but I mean, and then like they lose, and all of a sudden you want to break up the team. Keep the team together.
The funny thing is, all that. I remember when he was in the free agents, all that delay and all that shit. I mean, when he's coming back home and all that, that's all to set up to like, okay, are you going to build the team I'm building?
You know what? And you know what kills me about him doing this? I think he does it on purpose too. For the, like where he he announces
He has all the
announces a free
leverage.
agency. Yeah, well that and because like if he puts himself in the free agency pool, whether he has intentions to sign somewhere else or not, the rest of the league is going to have the assumption that they're gonna entertain the idea of getting him, and in doing that, they're gonna hold off on other players. Like the first time he became a free agent, if he would have just automatically said he's going to Miami, other teams would have had their players set. Knicks went and put David Lee out there, traded him just to clear space, or no, let him go to clear space for the possibility of getting LeBron.
No, they
Sign and trade, right?
No. They let him go when LeBron said that he ain't going to sign with them. I remember that because they had Amari first.
Because I thought they let him go, just to clear space off.
When he said that he ain't signing with them, that's when I remember it was on the day of, and they traded David Lee for Anthony Randolph and all that.
Now imagine if they would have kept him and Amari together. That'd have been a crazy. But anyways, that's all. Could have, would have, should have. God damn. But yeah. So like, whatever. Everybody's making excuses and this and that, and I could say one thing. LeBron played his ass off. But like, I hate the fact that they blame Kevin Love, and then it's like, oh yeah, trade Kevin Love. But all right, if you trade Kevin Love, you're gonna get somebody else, and that same person's gonna get the same blame.
Well, they should have stayed with Andrew Wiggins.
Yep.
That's what LeBron gets for not believing.
Yep.
Hater.
Where is Kevin Love from? Like, do you know?
What, is college?
Like, where is he born? Or
Oh,
whatever?
I don't know. I think he played in UCLA. That's as much.
So I'm assuming he's from the West Coast then. Let's see, Kevin Love.
So it was in UCLA.
Yeah, he played for UCLA. University of California. Oh yeah, UCLA.
Yeah, that's.
I'm trying to figure out where he's from. Kevin Love. I'm trying to see where he's from where
Actually,
he's
yeah, I
born.
think he did.
Oh, he's born in California. Yeah, Santa Monica. So I don't know, but whatever. Anyways, it's over. So back to the whole like LeBron v Jordan thing. Now I want to close this chapter because we've been talking about it for like a while already. So I gave the list of LeBron accomplishments, and high five to him, round of applause. And he's gonna continue to break records and numbers and put up rack up awards and shit. But the thing that separates him from, well, first of all, it's crazy because automatically they're throwing him in the category with Jordan when you still got guys like Magic Johnson, Bill Russell, Larry Bird, Kobe Bryant. So how does he automatically jump that?
That's just a
Yeah.
media thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I would not even do that.
No, like first of all,
Especially, I mean, if he even did all this without the super team, I would have been like, yeah.
that's
I would have been like, all right, you're up there.
That's
I mean,
another thing. Win or lose, say if he had no championship still, but he went to the finals, brought his team to the finals like he did that first time, then you can say something about it. Like Charles Barkley, Chris Webber, Allen Iverson, Patrick Ewing. These guys, you can say that they may not have, some of those guys may not have won it. Well, actually, all those guys I named haven't won a championship, but they created their legacy by doing what they did. It was just unfortunate, and they didn't deal with super teams. That's the crazy thing.
That's when you have a summit and be like, hey, I want like, what do you call it? 3 of the best players, two of the next best players in the league, and you're just flaunting it like, come on, man. That's weak to me.
And
That's an easy cop out.
and what gets me is, right, we all, none of us were fans of the Kevin Durant move.
No.
Like, especially he came out and knocked.
I even said that was worse than what LeBron did.
Yeah. But and the thing is, especially from him coming out saying whatever he said about LeBron on Twitter that one year.
Oh yeah, where's the competition and all that? And yeah, I remember that.
But it's like, right, all these people who, like, they're fans of LeBron. They were quote unquote Miami fans, quote unquote Cleveland fans. Now all of a sudden Kevin Durant did it, and Kevin Durant's, he's a pussy. He's this and that. Like so many things said about him. But yet you're rooting for a LeBron James team. This is not like you're rooting for Carmelo Anthony going against the Golden State Warriors and losing, but going against them and bringing them that far. We're not. That's not the conversation. Charles Barkley went against an overpowered Jordan team, but the thing was, it wasn't a super team. They became an established powerhouse, like even LA. All those teams that fell victim to the Kobe and Shaq and Phil Jackson Lakers. That wasn't a super team, but it was a premier elite team. The Spurs, premier elite team. Even the Mavericks. They were kind of like close to a super team, but not really. What they did was they would take like big-ish names and bring them to the team, but you saw it didn't work. They had to find the right pieces, so it was more of a trial by error thing. But yeah, so like I get what LeBron does and the fascination with him, and I see he's a freak of nature. But like, how are people like justifying what the fuck he like his legacy and all this stuff? Like, I'm tired of hearing that.
He said on a interview, he said he's not on a super team.
Yeah, he would say that.
Yeah, of course he would say that.
But yeah, Kyrie Irving now all of a sudden is not a premier.
I don't want to hear that shit. He's a premier point guard, and that's it. He's like easily one of the top point guard in the league.
If you take away Chris Paul,
he's not even. Who said some shit? He's not a premier point guard.
Yo, like there's a lot of people. Everybody making excuses and shit. Like him and Kevin Love are not elite. Yo, like if you take out, see the thing is, power forward position is kind of, well, even the point guard position is overpacked too. But if you take out Curry and you take out, matter of fact, no, leave Curry because Curry's a different kind of point guard. But you take out Chris Paul, and maybe John Wall, I think Kyrie Irving is the best point guard in the league if he stays healthy.
Well, Kyrie Irving is a more powered John Wall. They're basically like the same type of player.
Yeah.
But Kyrie Irving, he's he finishes. He's in another world with that shit.
Yeah, exactly. And this is why I say if it was just Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, say if their lineup was Irving, Love, Smith, Korver, and whoever playing center, or say Thompson, that's a fucking beast lineup. Like if you have the right coach, that's a beast lineup. You know, but you know, of course, everybody thinks I'm hating when I say, you know, if you take out LeBron. Not saying that they're a dynasty without LeBron. That LeBron definitely.
They would still be a top team without LeBron.
That's what I'm saying. One of the guys I work with, he was like they would be no better than, it would be worse than the Knicks. I was like, are you kidding me?
Whoa.
But he got LeBron James' dick down his throat real hard. Like,
Whoa. There will be no. Are you kidding me? I mean, I wish I had Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love right now.
Yep. he was telling me, he's like, who's gonna score whatever LeBron would normally score. I said, that's the thing. You take, all right, LeBron's taking 30 shots a game or whatever it may be, 25 shots a game. Kyrie Irving, not put him at the point guard, he's able to be a point guard and distribute the ball. You think Kyle Korver's only gonna have 3 shots if Kyrie Irving is the point guard? With a decent coach, with a coach that knows what he's doing. Say if David Blatt was coaching that team without LeBron James, it'd still be good. So,
Yo.
and that's not a slight on LeBron. I'm just saying the team has fucking players out there. Like, but yeah. So the whole thing is that, and like it's okay if LeBron teams up with these people. You try to say they're not superstars, but then Kevin Durant does it, which is a move we don't stand behind. But if he does it, he's wrong.
So wait till when Carmelo gets traded or Paul George gets traded to Cleveland.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they got it the punk easy way.
Right? Yeah. But they're gonna say that, but then on the other end they're gonna be like, those guys are all of a sudden elite players now.
But look at the situation Carmelo was in. He had to get out of here.
Yeah.
He have to get out of here.
Yeah.
His own GM, the own president, is just devaluing him every time he talks about him.
Yeah, and it makes no sense because like you want to get the most for a guy like that. So say all this shit after. Do what George Karl did. George Karl never
Basically.
devalued Carmelo. He knew he was going, but he didn't say, "Hey, this guy's this and that. This guy's that." No.
But you still want him? You still want him? You still want to trade? Huh? You want to give me a good pick for him?
Yeah, like, I mean, like we spoke about before. Like, if Boston was able to get 2 first-round picks for or multiple first-round picks for Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, you cannot tell me if you have any sense of common sense, if you have half a brain, Carmelo Anthony's worth at least 1 or 2 first-round picks.
Well, but look what Brooklyn gave Boston.
That's what I was just saying.
Brooklyn was just on some next level drunk shit.
But that's what I'm saying. If those guys those guys warranted first-round picks, Carmelo Anthony easily, because you put him on a team like the Spurs or the Clippers or whatever team is already established, and you put a player like him without this, you take away all that scrutiny from his own president and shit like that, and you put him in a city that actually support him, then, because the fans never treated Melo like this in Denver.
Nope.
That was like the best thing they had, I think, since English.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, but anywho, so LeBron has the plenty of accolades. He's got plenty of accomplishments, but to say he's better than Jordan, I can't do it. Like a guy who doesn't allow himself to be coached. But again, we're haters. We're LeBron haters. We're just hating because. And it's funny, everybody's always like, oh, if he came to the Knicks, you would be like this and that. Like, at this point, say if his next announcement was he's coming to the Knicks, I mean, I'll be happy for the team because we're probably going to go to the finals and shit because he's on the team, but I know what comes with it. So, and the thing is, realistically, he could barely take the heat in Cleveland. Like, at this stage in his career, like, he's a grown man now. And he doesn't seem to take criticism or anything well. So you telling me he's gonna survive in New York?
Didn't he say in the press conference he doesn't want to talk about the Golden State Warriors?
I mean, well, that's I don't really, I'm not mad at what he says, because he does say some like things that like makes sense. Like sometimes people just ask stupid questions or whatever. But no, my point is that like, you know, like everybody's like, oh, you know, I would love him if he came to the Knicks and this and that. I mean, he had that opportunity. He didn't come. So from there, you can tell. Like, all right, yeah, New York wasn't winning. But the thing is, if you're LeBron James, wherever you go, they're going to win. But Miami didn't win all 4 times. They won twice. Cleveland won once at least. If they don't win another championship, that's fine. He was the only guy that got a championship on there.
Yeah.
So my thing is like, you know, whatever. But it's over. Probably gonna see the same shit next year. So
You're gonna see the same shit next year, the year after.
unless somebody gets hurt or whatever, that's the only thing other teams could root on. Honestly, a big injury or some crazy shit. But yeah, we got the. Do you know exactly when the draft is?
I think a week from Thursday.
I honestly think if
I am honestly terrified of that draft. Just might,
Yeah,
or some good players might be available. We might just draft some
Another-
next guy from planet Mars and shit.
we're gonna pass on another Stephen Curry.
Well,
Nobody would have seen that coming though. Like that's another thing. Like, oh, we could have had him, but dude, no. But when they drafted Stephen Curry, even
They drafted him because the Knicks was the only team that'd be like, yeah, we're getting him, and the Golden State, one pick right before us, drafted him.
Yeah, but like even still, like nobody would have thought he would have had like this. Like, dude, the way he fucking shoots and then nobody.
I mean, they say he was an elite shooter coming out of the draft.
Yeah, but then also too, he dealt with injuries too when he came to the league.
Yeah.
So it's like his first couple years,
So
like,
they,
all right, cool.
They were partially right on that.
Yeah, but that's the thing too. You can say, oh, like, you know, you scout people and you have this, you know, like sort of comparison and you know you pick out their strengths and shit like that. But you never know. I mean, remember Kwame Brown. You know, so it's like
It's not just him. It's
Or-
Kwame Brown and
No, a
Adam
lot of other
Morris
people.
and
like look at
Bennett.
Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas is the last pick in the draft, and that's actually, you know what, if we do get a change in the finals next year, it'll be Boston. Boston will be that team because the thing is they have the first overall pick. They
got their own pick in the later.
Yep, and they have next year's first round pick, Brooklyn's first round pick.
That's like 3. Yeah, because they had one like the year before. Last year, right?
Last
year
year.
they had it.
Mm-hmm. That's why they drafted that dude Brown. Oh, what was his name? Brown? Yeah, I think it was Brown they drafted and he wasn't even a big deal, but well, they didn't make a big deal about him, but you know, you can do that when you have a shit ton of first round picks, and now they have the opportunity to either they could still trade that pick this year, or they can keep it and they look.
I
like,
wouldn't be surprised if they do to get another star to match that fucking super team.
Here's the
bullshit.
scenario with them too. They also have money to sign somebody. And there's rumors that Gordon Hayward might come over there because, you know, he has ties with Brian Stevens.
Gordon Hayward, he ain't scaring nobody.
No, but you put him on a team
Oh yeah,
with,
yeah,
like
but
that,
still,
because that's all they're missing. Say, look, you put him on that team. You already have Isaiah Thomas, Al Horford, and whoever else on the squad. You put Hayward there. Now you have that first round pick, or you trade that first round pick and get yourself Jimmy Butler or some player of that caliber. Boom. Then you're stacked, you know. But and it's funny because I don't see Boston bringing a super team. They'll bring some other scorer over, like either a Jimmy Butler or Hayward. Those are the two guys I see coming over there. One of the two. They bring those guys in there, and if they do sign other people, it's probably gonna be role players because they're gonna beat whoever they beat with depth.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's probably the only team I see dethroning. Unless Washington could get better. But like Washington's only a. But yeah, so when is the draft again?
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday? Alright, yeah, well, our fate is sealed. We'll be back.
Do you sometimes feel irritable, restless, uneasy, sad, normal, or just plain not high? Maybe it's time to try crack. Crack may cause shivers, night terrors, gay for pay, heart palpitations, homicidal paranoia, or the sensation that you're on fire. Peeing blood and seeing friends' faces as talking skeletons are possible side effects of crack. People who use crack may also experience 5 to 7 years in prison where brutal raping may occur. If you experience one or more of these side effects, consult your dealer. You may need more crack. Crack. Isn't it time you see what all the fuss is about?
Alright, we're back. About to get into some E3 stuff. A lot of shit to talk about there. But before I do that, I want you guys to do me a favor and head over to mbeyond.com and check out all the stuff we've got going on over there. You could keep up to date with everything in Beyond, like original comics like Hail Odin, Titan Corpse, and Crimson Huntress, and a lot more. And any other things in Beyond has going on from events. You could purchase art, shit ton of stuff on the site. Speaking of events, we've got Beyond Con happening on August 26th, which is a Saturday, at the Melville Marriott in Long Island. You can purchase tickets online at inbeyondcon.com. Enter promo code ART4LIFE, art number 4 life at checkout. Save yourself 20% on your tickets. And if you're interested in selling art, promoting whatever kind of art it is that you do, or if you're interested in vending, you can also purchase your space there. Head over to inbeyondcon.com. And just as fans do, you can enter promo code ART4LIFE, that's art number 4 life, and save yourself 20% on your space. It's definitely a fun show, so I highly suggest you guys go to inbeyondcon.com, pick up your tickets now. Alright, so E3, yo. Yeah. We spoke about Microsoft and EA's conferences, which was Saturday and Sunday, and Bethesda dropped the conference Sunday night. Yeah, apparently it's weak. I mean,
the last 2 games they mentioned was pretty.
What was it? The Evil Within and Wolfenstein, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to those bad boys, but
Yeah.
overall, you shouldn't even have a conference.
I still haven't played the Evil Within one.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool game.
Like every time it's on sale, like I'm always broke. So, well, hopefully I could catch it on sale because that's a game I do want to own because it looked dope. But especially since Part 2 is gonna be out eventually, it'd be nice to pick up the first one. And Wolfenstein, that's another game AJ had lent me. I started it, but I never really got like too into it.
Another good solid games.
Yeah, so it's nice to see them dropping that. But we got more Skyrim news, but I've been saying the only important Skyrim remastered kind of news is for the Switch, because if that game runs well mechanically on the Switch, it's gonna make way for a lot of future titles, especially games like that. It'd be pretty nice to see that. I mean, to take Skyrim on the go, that's just gotta be dope. But yeah, so Bethesda kind of like, from what X is saying, is kind of underwhelming. But we got Sony. Now, Sony, they really didn't introduce anything new. All the stuff we know about for the most part. But me personally, like, the stuff they showed us was different, so it wasn't the same exact thing. So we got like games like the new Uncharted game. That's something that I don't really need to see much of to know it's going to be a good game. And when did they say that was dropping? Was that later this year or early next year?
When I was watching the stream, the sound was off, so I really...
Yeah, that was weird. I thought it was just
really
me.
tuned out. I thought it was just me too, so I'm like, oh, snap.
Yeah, and I looked at the thing and it was everybody else. Like, they didn't fix it till after.
Yeah, when the Days Gone, I think, was playing.
Yeah. But I don't know. Excuse me. I think it's coming out at the end of this year. I think I can't be quoted on that. But I mean, that looks awesome. It's nice that we're seeing another Uncharted game, but not revolved around Nathan Drake. That's a nice way to keep a franchise going, instead of just beating everybody over the head with the same character. Maybe we'll see some kind of interweaving thing. I don't know when the story takes place, whether it takes place in the middle of Drake's adventures or after or before. But it's cool that we're getting something like that, but not oversaturated Nathan Drake. Then we got God of War, and God of War, I mean, that's something we saw before, but this new gameplay trailer, like, it looks interesting, because like all the other God of Wars have just been beat 'em ups.
Yeah, I mean, this one looks the same, but on another camera angle. But
Well, I think this is gonna take more of the road of like Last of Us and Uncharted, like games like, well, not Uncharted, more Last of Us, where it does slow down. But then when you get into the fighting, it's gonna be that beat 'em up sequence stuff or whatever. But yeah, it doesn't look like exactly like the older one, so it's not just a newer version of the same shit we played over again.
I'm kind of over God of War, so I'm.
Well, I personally, like, God of War was always a good game, but it wasn't something like I played 3.
It
and it's
never,
just,
it
like,
never hooked me.
Yeah, now this one, to me, looks, because of the fact that it seems like they're adding another element to the game.
Oh, okay.
Like actual character-driven stuff, it's not just you running from point A to point B, beating shit up, and the bigger, like it seems, like I said, it seems to be more of like a Last of Us kind of deal. So it's like, you have to, you're like teaching your son or whoever that is, and there's a lot of stuff within that. So it's not just the same game again, which is good. Then the next game was this is actually probably one of the biggest announcements, and it actually caught me by surprise. Like they literally, as far as from what I know, maybe they announced this before, but they right before the Sony press conference started, IGN had just like said that Sony had got something about Shadow of Colossus. So once I heard that,
Sony's bringing back some franchise, something like that.
yeah, they said something about them getting something. I was like, oh shit, like, and that was literally a last second thing. But I didn't think they were gonna show it, and it's fucked up because we was watching it, and I went to switch over to the TV because we were watching it on the computer, and then it started acting up. So I went back to the computer, and I had missed the Shadow of Colossus thing. So I saw people typing Shadow of Colossus, and that's why I asked you. I was like, yo, did they announce it? But anyway, so yeah, we're getting not a new Shadow of the Colossus, which is kind of a bummer, but at the same time, this is one of the best games I've ever played ever. It's actually like in my top 10 all time, and it's not even a franchise. It's just one game. But yeah, so that we're getting a Shadow of the Colossus remaster. Some people might be like, "Oh, we already got a remastered version," but
why didn't they just come up with a part 2?
I don't know.
Or something like that. It doesn't even have to be the same. Just like another.
Well,
like when I was playing the first Shadow of Colossus, I was like, you're just fighting these giant colossus, and there's like when you're on that horse and whatever, there's like nothing in between.
There's nothing in between, but it's weird how awesome
I was younger, so I just wanted to fight people.
Oh.
Because at least put some skeletons out there so I could swing at on my way to the
Yeah, no, it's literally you spending like 20 minutes trying to find these things, but you know what? It was so captivating, and especially like it was way ahead of its time. Like that game should be like a game that was just coming out for this generation, maybe PS3, but honestly, like this is something like that you would expect from like this kind of generation of console. But yeah, it's weird how like you like most people are probably like, shit, nothing's going on. You expect those little random things, but I don't know. It's just that never bothered me.
Cause around that time I really didn't follow the reviews like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I just electronic gaming, whatever. I just look at the numbers and be like, all right, let me try this.
I remember I heard about the game, probably in the magazines or whatever, but then that's when they had demos, so you could play the demo, and I just remember I was like, holy shit, and it was like scary because like granted it's a video game, but just like you're this tiny ass fucking dude, maybe the size of the fucking chapstick,
you have to
climbing up a person,
these giant colossus.
Yeah, so like
to save that princess.
Yep. Fucking girls, man, the shit they make us do.
She obviously better be worth it if I'm going through all that shit.
Right, that pussy better be bomb. But yeah, so like you think of it like your character's the size of a chapstick, and the colossus are the size of you.
Yeah.
And the thing is, not one colossus was the same.
Nah, yeah, there's like a flying one. There's
Sand colossuses, the fucking water ones is the worst because the water is murky as fuck.
I hate the water shit.
And yeah, dude, something about water and giant creatures creeps me the fuck out. So I'm swimming through the water. I'm like, fuck, when is it gonna come? and then you just because everything's murky, the game is
Yeah,
gloomy, and that shit
yeah.
just comes out. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I hate water stages in like any video games. One thing that really creeps me out is when water stages, and if I'm playing like a creepy horror type games, them damn dogs.
Oh yeah. Well, so you saw the God of War thing with that giant ass
That water.
That
the-
shit is creepy as fuck,
it's-
man. Cause like I have.
I mean that wouldn't bother me, but if I have to go on the water and swim,
Oh, you're in a small ass boat, dude. This ain't like this
yeah,
ain't like
that didn't bother me. It's just like me going underwater, swimming.
Oh,
you
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
find like these little tunnels in the underwater and these giant freaking sharks and whatever. Oh yuck! I hate that.
You ever found a shark in GTA?
Mm-hmm.
That shit is scary. Like I actually panicked the first time I found it. Like I legit panicked. Like I didn't know what to do with the remote. And
I
ended
remember when I was playing Assassin's Creed when you had to go in the water for the treasures and whatever. They're like, yeah, I just felt uncomfortable doing that. And the same thing with the Tomb Raider. It's the same thing when he's swimming and there's freaking sharks.
Yeah. And what makes it worse is in Shadow of the Colossus, like I said, the water is murky as fuck. You can't even, like in all these other games you could kind of see in the water. You could see
Yeah.
through the water. It's clear. This shit is like you couldn't see nothing. The game is gloomy. That shit just comes out. And then they had like the twin Colossus. There was like two of them. And then they had the spider-ish Colossus.
Yeah.
And then the craziest one was the last one. Because that shit was like legit a fucking building.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. And so to see them remastering that game, I'm actually really happy because I actually never got the PS3 remastered version. I always wanted to, but never got around to getting it. So it's... And even still, this is a game that, like, there's some games you would just spend money on again and again, like, especially since there's such a gap.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that.
Yeah. Like, I did that with
I did
actually...
that with the Halos.
Yeah. Like, I did that with, not with a game, but with Marvel vs. Not Marvel. My Chemical Romance, Black Parade. I ended up buying their album 3 times. So I have the first album, then I had the deluxe version of the album, then I had the one that, the 10th year anniversary. You know, it was kind of an accident, but I'm not ashamed to say I did it. But yeah, so Shadow of the Colossus is coming out, and maybe we might get a remake. I mean, a second thing. But the thing is, see, with that company,
maybe with it depends on how the remake sells.
yeah.
That
Well,
really shows.
well, that game is under a different company, right? Like a different developer. if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
that happens when they do remasters and shit. Another developers be doing that.
So we might see, because the thing is with that with the original company, I forget the actual company of that game, of the original game, but they did Ico,
Yeah.
and then Shadow of the Colossus, and then Last Guardian.
Mhm.
So like I guess they have a thing against sequels, which is fine, but then again sometimes it's just like, or maybe they, I don't know. I can't say make more games because I like when companies don't make many games, but don't have that Last Guardian gap. Like that, I think that's what's killing Kingdom Hearts. It's like I feel like that every generation they're trying to like they're still working on it. Then a new console comes out, then they're trying to keep up with that new console. Dude, just put the game out, man. Like it doesn't matter if it looks like fucking like super realistic or if it looks like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild or Borderlands. People are still gonna get, as long as the game plays well, and it's Kingdom Hearts at its core. Like nobody cares about the super amazing graphics, especially on that game. This is not a sports game. This is not Call of Duty. You know, there's some games that you could get away with having. And it's Kingdom Hearts. So who's gonna complain about like subpar graphics on a Kingdom Hearts game?
A lot of people be doing that.
Oh well, those are fucking cornballs. But I mean, like, if it doesn't,
80% of these games are cornballs.
if it doesn't look, no, but I mean, not like if it doesn't look like, you know, again, like what's the best looking game right now, like on consoles?
On consoles, what the action games? Because me, I'm gonna say Forza.
Probably well, Forza's a racing game.
Yeah, so-
like I would say something like
All right, I would say the
Horizon Zero Dawn,
Horizon, Gears of War.
Gears of War. Yeah, so it doesn't have to look like that.
Mhm.
But I mean, it's a stylish game, so it's gonna be on its own league. Like Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, it has its own sort of signature look to it, and that's what makes it beautiful. So Kingdom Hearts could work, but anyways, whatever. Just put the game out. So like, hopefully that the company that did Ico and maybe they, you know, just don't fall in that Last Guardian category. But then again, I think I see why they did it because they wanted that Last Guardian to actually feel like a living character, whatever. But all right, so next game is actually Horizon Zero Dawn. They're not releasing a new game.
It's a DLC.
DLC, yeah, it's called the Frozen Wilds. And just as the original game, it looks sick as fuck. And I like that they're doing that. I like that these companies are not putting games out every year, and that whoever is behind that game is definitely not a company that seems like they're gonna drop games every year. But give us the game, give us a DLC package, maybe one or two, so that gives you like a 2-year, 3-year gap in between, and then release a new game. I mean, it doesn't have to be the same game; it could be a different game, but you know, everything doesn't have to be like oversaturation and shit. So there's not much to say about that. I haven't played the original game yet. Neither has X. He just picked it up, so.
Yeah, so don't kill me, guys.
Yeah. We're not,
You know, so
we're not lucky enough to get games every fucking, every time it comes
some of us
out.
got some backlogs of games that we want to finish.
I'm still sitting on The Witcher.
Well, have to take your time on that.
Yo, I always say this, I gotta get fired from my job to play these games that I have, cause like, the thing is, I spent so much time playing GTA.
If there's a game for you to take your time on, that's The Witcher. That game's amazing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, see, like that, Skyrim, even Shadow of Mordor. It's a pretty. Well, actually, with that game, it's not a short game, but I think I spent too much time fighting those chiefs when I didn't have to, because I thought I was actually progressing my level doing it.
I was guilty of that too.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure it out. I was like, wait, I don't have to be.
You still gotta level up regardless, so it's not like you ain't doing it for nothing.
No, but there was a point where I was just like, I kept, instead of going after the main war
because they
chiefs,
always come back anyway.
that's when I found out. I was like, yo, these dudes don't stop. I thought I was gonna eliminate all of them, and then
no, they get within the ranks.
yeah, so I finally made it like past the first main area. Like when you get into that, you fight the black hand, whatever his name was, whatever. I got into the second part, but then I stopped because GTA, every time they keep releasing new updates, and I had like just now they released the Gunrunner update, and I bought myself a bunker, and I'm gonna have to fucking spend like the whole weekend trying to get money so I could get me that fucking anti-aircraft tank shit. So it's gonna be fun, but that's cool. I like coming back to it, but yeah, it's hard. Like with The Witcher, I have Dark Souls 2. I still want to get Dark Souls 3. They released the Ultimate Edition.
I have Dark Souls 3. I never really ventured far into that at all. I'm still in the beginnings because I got it during the time. Was it Black Friday? I was working for Trojan, so I don't really have that much time to play, and I just left it there.
Yeah, I remember you got that. I wanted to get it.
And Dishonored 2. I need to go into Dishonored 2.
I had to choose between getting myself Dark Souls or getting my brother some games for Christmas. So I got my brother the games for Christmas. But now they got the deluxe. It's not called the deluxe edition, but it is a deluxe edition with like the other DLC. So I'll pick that up. Probably, if not before Black Friday, definitely Black Friday. And then I just gotta get fired from my job so I can sit down and play all these games, man. Because especially games like that, they're not like Uncharted where you could maybe beat it in a couple days. Like these games, like even if you try to beat it in a couple days, yeah. But yeah. So hopefully I get to pick up Horizon soon. And then the next game is Days Gone. Another game we've seen before, but the thing is, we've seen like two completely different types of scenarios. Yeah, the first one was it looked legit like sort of like The Last of Us. They just showed the guy riding on his motorcycle. Didn't really show much. It was an open world kind of thing. But then the second thing we got out of nowhere was that zombie sequence where there's just like hundreds of zombies coming at you at the same time. And it was like two different completely different games, which was cool. But then they dropped the gameplay footage on E3, and it gave you a combination of the two. But it showed it was more of a human survival thing as opposed to just a all out Left 4 Dead kind of game. And that's cool. Like I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, not that much zombies in it. They lied. Listen, the same thing they complain about the Walking Dead series. Oh, this episode was whack. Like, not every episode's gonna have a fucking zombie invasion in it. Like, it's about the people. Like, they do the same thing with Game of Thrones. People be like, the first episode, and they know this. Usually, the first episodes are kind of slow. No, the first episodes suck. Then because the thing is with Game of Thrones, they have like one episode every year that's like Hollywood blockbuster kind of numbers. and they expect that all the time. But you gotta understand this build up. TV series are meant to be dragged out.
It's.
Yeah, I hate people like that.
There's no point of explaining that anymore.
Yeah.
They just won't get it.
Yeah, like Stranger Things. Stranger Things is fucking drawn out like crazy. But you want to see that, especially if it's a TV show.
Well, okay, I haven't seen Game of Thrones or anything like that. I said it. I haven't seen Game of Thrones, but Stranger Things. I mean, that thing just caught me from every episode. I don't.
Well, it was gripping.
Exactly. I don't see any downfall in none of those.
No, it was. I mean, the thing with that too is like, see, Game of Thrones, it follows like multiple books, so they have to drag it out. You know, Stranger Things, it's you know, it was just some new not IP, but you know, whatever. But yeah, so people gotta understand shows go like that. But yeah, so Days Gone, I love the fact that it's not just a, you know, full out like, you know, run from 100 zombies the whole game kind of thing, because that's just like, it turns it into a completely different game. Like, that's fine for Left 4 Dead or what's the other game? What's the other zombie game? The one that started in the mall.
Dead Rising.
Dead Rising. It's not supposed to be that game. Like, those games are that game, and that's that. Yeah, so it looks cool. I'm really curious to see how it plays out. Like, this is one of the games that, like, Sony so far with their exclusives have not dropped the ball as far as like Left 4 Dead, Uncharted, Horizon. They've been really top notch, which is
Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead, Last of Us.
Oh.
Is all this shit at once is confusing me. The Last of Us, yeah. So like those games have been really solid, and I don't see why Days Gone wouldn't be solid. But yeah, it looks.
I expect Days going to be solid. I just wish they would do another siphon filter, but hey, what do I know?
Yeah, man. Like
I would kill for a siphon filter, man.
I think the biggest letdown of this entire E3 was no Dead Space.
We're due for another Dead Space.
Yeah, but the only thing is to you know, in all fairness, they never promised us that. You know, so we just want it. You know what makes me laugh too? Like everybody complaining about Final Fantasy VII. Like, dude, they just said it's not coming out for a couple years. I don't want to see nothing.
Exactly.
Like people, it's because of people like that. That's why we get these, you know, repeated things.
Yeah, you have a point.
Yeah, because it's look.
If you announce it and you say it ain't coming out anytime soon, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But if you're showing me gameplay footage, I want a date.
Exactly. That's why, like, you know, with Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy, it's like people want to see it, but like they said that it's not going to be out till Final Fantasy. The latest is 2020. I don't think it's going to take that long. I think it's going to be out sooner. But honestly, don't rush it. Fuck it. If they're going to do it right.
I already played that story. I do not care.
Yeah.
If you whatever.
Like,
so don't rush it. Take your time.
Yeah.
Let these noobs who never experienced it, let them suffer. I already know the story.
Yeah. But with Kingdom Hearts 2, it's like, yeah, like, well, 3. But Kingdom Hearts also, like, you know it's not going to be out for a while, so why do you need to see more? Like,
True.
You know, like, it's almost as funny as, like, people complaining about the lack of news for Grand Theft Auto 6. Like,
oh, come on.
That shit makes me laugh, man. Like, if you go through a Rockstar feed, matter of fact, when they put out the new update for the Gunrunner, when they announced it,
and they be like, where's Grand Theft Auto 6?
People actually complaining about Grand Theft Auto 6.
You're not going to get that news anytime soon,
And
so get over it.
You know what's funny, too? People are complaining about the lack of single-player campaign, too. That's a big deal. I'm like, dude, just get over it. If they don't come out with a single-player campaign, look at how big the fucking multiplayer is.
What
in GTA.
What,
GTA 5, like,
what they want
People
a
want-
DLC single player
because
DLC?
all the other ones got it.
Oh, okay.
But you also got to remember, this game was developed way differently in the sense that it was 3 characters in the main thing. You're switching simultaneously.
I'm good without all the. I'm good without all the single player thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I beat it. I mean, that's enough for me because
Yeah.
it was very lengthy the game.
Yeah,
so.
it's not like it was a short
So
game.
if you don't want to do a DLC, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I am satisfied.
But they acting like they just letting Grand Theft Auto sit and rot. Like, dude, look at all the free content you get online. You know?
Go outside and do something, man.
That too.
It's the summertime, man.
But yes, like people like
Play some ball.
people like they they don't understand Rockstar's cycle. So it's like they want to see
They're
stuff
not
like
getting it because Red Dead Redemption's coming up. That's their focus.
And Red Dead is gonna have at least a. I don't think the cycle for the online is gonna be as long as GTA because GTA is thing about Red Dead Redemption, like the time it's set in, you're limited to what you can do. In GTA, if you look at the different updates, they like now you got the gun running thing where you could buy a fucking bunker and anti-aircraft tanks and all this crazy shit. You know, you can only do so much in that aspect with Red Dead because it's set in the past, whatever. You can do a lot, but you know you're only gonna have your horses, maybe those old Ford cars. That's like, but anywho, that's something I would have liked to see. But see, Rockstar, they already gave us not an exact date, but we know it's coming, so that's a little different. But yeah, for like all the games that like are not coming out and they're not, like with Pokemon. This we'll get into this a little later, but they just said, hey, it's in development. They didn't give us no fucking pictures and
I'm good with that.
Yep.
I'm good with that. Just I know in the back of my mind it's in development.
Exactly.
If you don't want to give no pictures, screenshots, whatever, but if you're going to show me a demo or whatever,
Mhm.
if you're going to show me a lengthy one, give me a date. If not, then don't show me a damn thing.
Yep.
Show me what you already got ready.
It's almost as bad. It's the equivalent of showing a movie teaser trailer a year before the movie comes out.
Oh, they do that all the time.
They did that with Star Wars. Holy fuck! Like
Star Wars. Yeah.
Star Wars was the worst one though. Like that shit had me. Time goes by fast, and a year's not that bad. But the thing is, like, it's like shit, like it's there. But with games, it's like, don't give us it if it's not coming out. Like I said, if you have a date, all right, cool. Show us all the shit you want to show us. But like all right, so yeah, we had Days Gone. Now, Monster Hunter. I was trying to figure out what the fuck that was the entire time they were showing that.
I knew that was Monster Hunter.
Oh, I didn't know. I was like, are they bringing back Turok?
I was like, wait, hold on. Monster Hunter.
I never played those games,
Yeah,
but
it's
looks.
It's an alright game.
It looks interesting, man.
I played it during the PSP days. It's an alright game.
That was the one with the fucking T-Rex that like fucking grew wings and shit or whatever. Like that was the same trailer, right? Chris.
Well, it didn't grow wings.
No.
It chased.
No, but there was one that was chasing him, and it had that like that little dinosaur that like.
Oh, there was like another monster came in that had wings, and it was fighting the other.
Yeah. That it looks awesome. I was.
It's just a little hunting type game. It's pretty cool.
I heard of the game. I just never played it.
I mean, if it's online now, they're putting it online now for everybody to. I mean, I want to know how good that would be.
Yeah. Isn't that out for the Switch? Well, no, it was out for the Wii U, right? Or am I thinking about something else? No, it's not Monster Hunter. Is it Monster Hunter?
There's Monster Hunters
For the Wii U, right?
I don't. Well, Monster Hunter Z's type shit.
Something like that. Yeah. Okay.
Probably.
Yeah,
But Monster Hunter's been around.
Okay. So yeah, I won't be surprised to see some kind of Monster Hunter on the Switch soon. Because my friend was talking about that actually. Yeah, because he was talking about that and what's the other game? Xenoblade. All right. So yeah, so we got Monster Hunter. Then we got Call of Duty World War II.
Pass. I don't want to talk about that.
Yo, you know what? If that game was like, not so expensive, I'd play it for the story. But like, I don't.
That's why I usually wait on sales or borrow it just for the stories, because the Call of Duty stories are usually pretty entertaining.
Yeah, they're fun. But the thing is, it's like, yo, you might as well like just put out the game for $40, make it a multiplayer game, and then release a single player as like a extra content. They're not gonna do that, but or don't even waste your time on a single player. Like, but then again, they can't do that because that's the same backlash Battlefront got.
Yeah. So.
But the thing is, who really plays it for the single player though? Yeah, nobody plays. Like Star Wars is different because you kind of want to get into the Star Wars universe and play an actual story.
It's for Call of Duty. Call of Duty. I was surprised at how many people just jump into the online and not play the story mode.
That's why, like, I was not mad at all when Grand Theft Auto waited 2 weeks to start up the online.
Yeah, true.
I think all companies need to do that. Well, not all companies, but.
But I think Grand Theft Auto's fan base was expecting the story, so they did that. I don't think there's somebody be like playing Grand Theft Auto for the first time and want to jump online. I mean, but for Call of Duty, for some strange reason, a lot of people just like, nah, I'm just playing. I just want to go online.
You know what I
I
would
don't
do?
play for the story. I'm like, what?
Say like the game comes out on Friday, right? Just for example, if I were them, I'd start the on. Actually, no. I mean, I'm just saying this because I'm a big single player connoisseur. But like, I was gonna say like they should like start the online like later on in the weekend. So at least give people.
I mean, I don't. They don't need to do none of that.
Yeah,
they
that's-
got the money already, so
yeah.
do what you want.
That's just me as like a single player person speaking. But yeah, it
same
doesn't
thing
make
with
sense.
me. I usually go through the single player first before I jump online.
Yeah, that's true too. You know what? We have the option to do that, so it's not like we're being forced to play multiplayer. But it just sucks that like, there's not much depth in that. But anyways, yeah, that's coming out. Destiny 2 is coming out. Whatever.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the new Call of Duty
Mhm.
hype. 'Cause
You know what though? In comparison to Call of Duty, at least Destiny has more depth. Like,
well, Destiny 2 seems like it has more depth.
well,
'Cause
yeah.
I'm still mad at Activision and Bungie for that shit
Dude,
they pulled the last
how
time.
much did people like pay to play Destiny 1 in its entirety?
$145.
I think more than that, because I think Dreamer went to GameStop to reserve like a DLC
he
like
got-
5 times.
Yeah, he got like
And they were all like $60 or
Yeah,
some
the
shit like that.
DLC. I think the most I heard was like 40, but even
Oh,
that
that's
is
a lot.
Is a lot.
For multiple times. It's not like, look, the Breath of the Wild DLC.
I mean, for the people who are listening, before you get at me, I don't know anything. I mean, I bought Destiny the first standard edition, and I dropped it. I don't know anything about the DLCs. I know there was like a couple of DLCs out, so
I heard it gets better, like but it's
I heard it really does get
it's
better.
similar to Star Wars. Like if you bought the Ultimate Edition in comparison to like the Day One Edition,
Mhm.
it's probably a way better experience. And I like from what I've been hearing, Destiny's way better with all that stuff. But the thing is,
But this
you
is
paid,
bullshit.
yeah,
I paid that $60 for that bare bones bullshit. Then you gonna tell me to pay more money for that?
yeah.
No, get out of here.
Look, like
man.
you look at like you look at the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. They got the DLC for $20. The whole DLC is $20. It's coming out in 2 waves. The first wave is gonna have a bunch of different modes and a bunch of different skins and or armor or whatever. Then the second batch or second half of it is a story, a full blown story. But the thing is, see, they only charge once for all that, and you still the actual game. You don't need that DLC shit. You could just play the game, and it's well worth the $60 you paid. But like with Star Wars and Destiny, we paid $60 at when it came out, and dude, I was so hyped for that game.
Like Friday the 13th. You buy this the multiplayer. They say, hey, the story's coming in the summertime.
yeah,
I'm like, all right.
and
cool.
even them,
That's my choice if I want to buy it, but. I just hope that when the story comes, I don't have to spend no extra money.
yeah.
Right, so
Like right now with Battlefront 2, they're saying all the DLC is free. So that right there is huge because now it even alright, say if everything's not available right away, at least you know when it comes out, you can play with your friends even if you're broke.
Yeah.
Like that shit, like I remember with Red Dead Redemption, when they did the DLC, though it wasn't as harsh as the all these other things we're paying for nowadays.
Mhm.
But it like if a DLC came out and you didn't have the cash, you had to wait and you couldn't play certain things with your friends. And again, it wasn't that big of a deal, but it was still enough to like hold it back. So like make you pay for other things. But yeah, so Destiny 2, whatever. I mean, hopefully they fix the issues that they had with Part 1.
I mean, they already have a story mode, so that's
That-
already a plus.
See, that's what I was hoping for with Destiny.
I mean, and the
because
story mode does look good.
yeah, it actually does. But see, that's the thing I was excited for Destiny 1 because, I mean, I'm not a big first-person shooter fan, but knowing Bungie and what they've done with Halo, now that sort of kind of game was coming to PlayStation, I was like, all right, cool. Looked good. Peter Dinklage was in it. I'm like, all right, Peter Dinklage is in it. That's got to mean something big for the game. But
Yeah.
when you play the game, it's like...
I tried so hard to I couldn't.
Yeah,
couldn't.
like
I dropped it. I never picked it up again.
Dude, I traded it in the first week.
Never picked it up again. It's such. It was so bad.
Yeah, it's a shame, but hopefully these developers for the most part seem to be listening. I think the only one that doesn't really like listen or care is what
Is
the Call of Duty,
Activision.
yeah, the Call of Duty team. because it's like they know they could get away with whatever because all these kids and noobs.
From reports, they were saying it was all that Activision's decisions for all that. But
What call it for
the whole Destiny, that's
yeah.
that's why it seems so stripped down and all that. Which Activision does have a history of doing shit like that. So.
It's a shame, man. Like you would think you'd make more money doing the right thing. Like, all right, so what if you don't sell everything? You know, like I mean, if you don't make everybody pay for everything, you're still gonna make your money some way, shape, or form because you know what? A bunch of people are gonna buy the game, then they're gonna recommend it to their friends, and their friends are gonna buy the game, and then like you know that's how, whatever. Anywho, then we got a Marvel vs. Capcom story trailer. They announced that the demo would be available to play. I was excited for that till I actually played the demo, and I swear to God, it feels like a fucking mobile game. Like
maybe because you're just so overwhelmed by injustice.
You know what though? Marvel vs. Capcom 3, it wasn't the best fighting game, but it felt more like Marvel vs. Capcom. You know, like it was definitely different, but it felt a little more like it. This, it just like, yeah, it definitely like I'm definitely spoiled by Injustice, and they seem to try to go the story route with Marvel vs. Capcom.
Story, it just seemed awkward.
Yeah, it's you know what it is though. I think that the design of the characters are just so lazy. Like all right, Sigma Ultron looks awesome, or Ultron Sigma, whatever they're calling. He looks great. Captain America looks like some generic big ears and like just like super. He looks like one of those weird kid toys.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, probably just me being spoiled by the awesomeness of Injustice storytelling and their cutscenes.
Mm-hmm.
But that, I don't know, man.
Yeah, but like I said, go to Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Play that. It's heaps better than Part 4.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because it's the demo, but I doubt it. You know, like, I guess it's they're getting lazy with the fact that the name is big, and then Marvel. If it's Marvel, anybody's gonna play it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could imagine how much money that game's gonna make simply because the little kids want to play as, you know, Rocket Raccoon or whatnot. Actually, Rocket Raccoon looks good, but like Captain America looks weird, and it just feels so like I don't know. I was playing it. There's no challenge to it. Like I don't know. It's one of those games that like you play through it and the only real challenge is the boss.
Yeah.
And that's because he got like all these special guards and he could use all the stones, but I don't know. I'm really not excited for it. I think that's something I'm gonna wait till it goes on sale or if it's free. Cause I don't know. Like X probably nailed it on the head when he said I'm probably spoiled with Injustice, but I mean. And I'm not even a fighting game fan. I really could live without fighting games, but...
Freaking Injustice is on it right now as we speak.
Yep. Matter of fact, for the last couple episodes, it's been on. It's just been there. So, like the fact that there's so much to do and so much to get in that game, I'm still trying to get the Bizarro logo. Supposedly Jake found it. I don't know if he was just trolling or he actually did. But I feel like he did, and he's probably going to get like 2 or 3 of them. And I'm just gonna be here trying to get that shit. I just keep getting like these weird ass Kara fucking symbols and shit. But yeah, so Marvel vs. Capcom, whatever.
Yeah, try to do that regen thing on the symbols. Maybe you could get it.
I'll try. You just told me how to use it, what the regens do. So now I have a shit ton of them. So, but all right, yeah. So that's Marvel vs. Capcom. So yeah, the last game that was announced was Spider-Man. Now
that
this
looked awesome.
Yeah, dude, like, I mean, from it almost looked just like the trailer. Like, the trailer they showed us before, pretty much the same thing.
You didn't talk about Detroit.
Oh, whatever. Detroit's coming out. Nah, I don't know, like, it doesn't look bad at all. It's just like...
It looks like an interactive movie.
Yeah, it definitely is. I was confused because I thought, it was, alright, I was thinking about that game they promoted last year. With the cop that he's like a cyborg or android or whatever, and you had to make the decision whether to kill him, like you're standing by the window or on a roof or some shit like that. So I'm like, what happened to that game? But then X brought up to me that that's the same game probably, and I'm like, oh, because it was weird because Sony does this. They'll introduce that one interactive movie game and. It looks dope, but then when like nobody cares about it, like when it comes out, I don't even think it sells anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like what's that? Damn, I forgot the name. I was fucking talking about it all. That first the first one that came out for PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 3.
With the interactive movie?
Yeah.
Heavy Rain?
Heavy Rain, there you go. Like that was like it was. I heard it was a great game, but
No,
like,
it's a great story. It's a great story.
but yeah, everybody thought it was an actual like full blown game. Didn't know it was an interactive thingy.
Yeah, it's not. It's an interactive movie.
Yeah, I still want to play it, but
Yeah, for $20, I would buy it because you're just interacting with a DVD movie.
yeah, exactly. As long as you know what you're getting into. But yeah, so that it's definitely one of those games. It doesn't look bad, but I just don't know. I'm like whatever. But either way, like you watch that and then you see Spider-Man, it's like okay.
Spider-Man. The thing is, it's gonna be compared to the Arkham series, and
That's fine.
that's fine because the Arkham series set the bar so high. Because not only the story is good, it's just that there's so much to do after.
Yeah.
Like,
How many times have we said that like playing that game, like every other superhero game, should be like this?
Yeah.
Like obviously the tone's gonna be different or whatever, but if it's the same fighting system, I mean, what is it like? Shadow of Mordor. Shadow of Mordor. It has pretty much Assassin's Creed and Batman Arkham combined,
Basically.
and you know a little bit of Skyrim, a little bit of Dark Souls. Not really. Not really Skyrim. Skyrim's more of a vast thing, but it has that sort of But nobody's complaining because all right, it's cool if you replicate something, but like it's different. Like what was it? The Darksiders.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
But it was its own game, so it's okay if you take little things here and there from games, and it feels like that. And not for nothing, Insomniac, like they made they developed Infamous.
It
And
was Sucker Punch.
it was Sucker Punch, damn it.
Oh, you mean Ratchet and Clank?
Ratchet, no, you know what? I
did-
keep getting the companies mixed up. That's why.
They did Ratchet and Clank and Sunset Overdrive.
Sunset Overdrive. There you go. I don't know why I keep getting Sucker Punch and these. Anyways, but still, like it seems like they're taking the game seriously, and it looks like a combination of Arkham and Uncharted,
Looks awesome.
which is good. I mean, it's got its it's sort of like I forget the quick time kind of things. It's got that, but then it's got like the stealth, and dude, his that shit where he like shot something at the wall and it pulled the guy to the wall, that was crazy. And they're focusing on it's gonna be right now it's Kingpin. He's like the main, well, at least he's a big part of the game.
Yeah.
But it seems that they're creating something new,
Yeah.
which is fine.
And that Miles Morales tease at the end.
That was great. And what I love about it, even though I feel like he'll pop up somewhere in, if not this game, in this franchise, but I love the fact that it wasn't centered around Green Goblin.
Yeah.
Because that's the biggest problem with like Batman. Everything's like fucking Joker. And as much as I love the Joker, there's plenty of other fucking.
Spider-Man doesn't really have a consistent bad guy that's really other than Venom.
Yeah, Venom. But
And
Green
Carnage.
Goblin is used a lot though. Like he's sort of like
he's
the go-to.
he's the
He's the Joker to Spider-Man.
Yeah, like cerebral, and like he's kind of got that Joker vibe. Not like ha ha ha, like but
No, that's Spider-Man. That's really
I mean, he's the one that-
Spider-Man's arch nemesis. Remember in the last.
yes, I know.
Superior Spider-Man?
I'm just saying that it's not all. I mean, like he's probably the most overused, but the fact that he's not. But yeah, Spider-Man has like he's always
I
he
don't really. But I don't really see him as Spider-Man's arch.
he
He does the most grimiest thing to. He's grimy because that whole arc with the whole Gwen Stacy and all that.
you know what it is, because it's not as overutilized as the Joker, but the most but the most common and I guess his biggest.
I think he's the one that got Spider-Man to being the Spider-Man he is.
Yeah, he like
Because I always look at Venom and Carnage as the two rivals, but hey,
yeah. Well, those are like the more like as far as
Recent.
pushing his superhuman, like. But the more grounded, his more grounded nemesis is Green Goblin. But yeah, it's not focused on that, which is okay. But there's definitely got to be a bigger thing here because in the trailer they don't even show you the main villain.
Yeah, there's gotta be a bigger thing.
Yeah, like right now he's working with
Probably-
Fisk to find something.
Probably Doc Ock, man. The Doc Ock.
Oh shit, man, dude. You know what it is with Spider-Man? I don't care who we see.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, whether it be Venom, Carnage, Doc Ock, I mean, just some Spider-Man of this caliber. I mean, it's definitely gonna be open world, even though they didn't display that.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Oh,
like-
I just hope New York City's pretty dense and detailed.
Well,
not like the not Infamous, the other game. Oh shit. What was that game? You know what I'm talking about? Is that game with the guy with the hood, his arms?
Prototype.
Prototype, yeah.
That had potential.
Yeah, that had, but the New York was so boring and.
Wait, so you said
and-
Sucker Punch did
So they Infamous.
Infamous. So what else did Sucker Punch do? Like
Infamous.
just Infamous?
The Infamous game.
I always felt like they should do a superhero game because Infamous is essentially a superhero game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a DC Marvel
Is there,
superhero.
originals. Yeah, I mean, from the first one, I mean, you could just tell the comic book style presentation.
Yeah.
But the last one, Second Son, went away from that.
Yeah, I never got to play that one, but that's probably overdue for a third one too.
Yeah, I like for it to go back to the comic style.
Yeah, but yeah. So Spider-Man looks dope. It's what is it? 18. They said I think they said 2018 is coming out.
When they say 2018, then I'm
That means
thinking
maybe,
next year around it's going to be again for another E3.
Maybe. I mean, they might maybe line it up with like the Avengers.
Because if it's not coming out in spring, then I'm thinking it's coming out in November or some shit.
Well, it could be like a February, March. Or that is spring.
Yeah, we didn't get no Avenger game news and none of that shit.
That was a surprise, even though maybe it's still in that stage of development. So, like you said, why you want to, we don't want to see shit because when they did announce that a couple months back, like they never really said when it's coming out. They just
They had a teaser trailer.
yeah, that little like the
Yeah, with their helmets and all that.
yeah, but that's if we're not gonna get the game soon, then yeah, like you said before, just keep it hush. But I wonder if one of those two games are gonna line up with the Avengers movie, because obviously Spider-Man's not gonna make it by Spider-Man, so maybe they Spider-Man the Blu-ray would probably come out this year, so I don't think they line it up with that. But whatever, when we get it, we get it. It looks promising. I still think it's odd that Sony has it's not odd because Sony does own the rights to Spider-Man as far as the movies go, but it is weird to see a superhero game of especially Spider-Man, who is probably outside of Batman and Superman the biggest superhero out there, like the most popular. Like before all this Avenger movies, it was Spider-Man. So to have something that big exclusive to Sony is pretty weird to see. And pretty big for Sony, because
Oh, well, not anymore, because Sony's already killing the game. So,
well, yeah, no,
if it was for Microsoft, then you could say it's pretty big for Microsoft. But
well,
nah.
yeah. Well, Microsoft could have used that shit. That's the thing that struck me though. Like, Microsoft really didn't. What big game was an exclusive outside of Forza?
Other than Halo and Gears.
But I'm saying like that they announced. They didn't announce anything.
No,
I thought like we were gonna get like a new Gears or something like
Microsoft
that.
is going to be in another year of drought. Well, when the first 2 years in the generation, they had like games on games, but now
But only like
Yeah.
they're in a drought.
the,
Yeah.
So only Forza comes out like every year now.
I guess you could only hope that maybe they have something big in the works, but I mean, it was weird to see because I don't own an Xbox, but I'm always looking forward to seeing because last year they announced Scalebound, right? Or was it the year
Yeah, and
before?
they announced Scalebound like I think the year before, and that went down.
You know what was funny though when I was when they were showing Monster Hunter, because I didn't know what it was at first. I was like, yo, tell me they got the rights to Scalebound. That would have been some big fuck you to Microsoft.
Platinum Games was awesome too. That sucked that thing just went down.
Dude, that game looked fucking beautiful. Like again, I don't own an Xbox, but that shit I would have definitely went to Jason's house and played that shit.
They dropped the ball on that. Whoever did, I'm like, yo, why you didn't finish it? I don't know what happened, but platinum games, losing the platinum games, that sucks.
Yeah.
For even if it's a multi-plat, platinum games was awesome. They're like the new go-to action games.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, if somebody else picks that shit up, shit. But anywho, so Sony pretty much like again, they didn't really give us anything new outside of Spider-Man. They gave us some VR shit, but me personally, I know X doesn't care about VR. I don't really. How are they doing it? Are they releasing that as like updates for the games?
What VR?
Like VR, because I know those games
they have
already
their own
exist.
little VR system.
That I know, but like, so like, if you own Resident Evil and they did a VR like thing, that's a different game, or
I think the VR is included within, but I think the VR is its own things. Like when you buy a VR game, it says to you it's VR on the thing. So
that's interesting.
I mean, I thought I saw some of those in Best Buys.
Yeah, I don't care anyways.
Yeah, VR.
Like once they dropped the VR shit, I was like, oh god. But then then they went back to like they got back to God of War and Spider-Man. But today we had Nintendo. Now I was a little upset because out of all the fucking conferences, they had to do this while I was at work. And I'm actually used to it because every other E3 has been like while I'm at work. But anyway, so it was a typical Nintendo thing. They didn't give any news about the Virtual Console yet, right?
No.
Okay, well that was probably my only disappointment, but I know it's coming. So they did announce it like last week that there was a lot of online content coming. So whatever, but and I guess they're really sticking to their games right now, which is fine. I mean, so the first game they announced was a new Kirby game. Can't go wrong with that. I'm hoping it's a long Kirby game, kind of like the Super Mario World for the infamous Super Mario World, Yoshi's Island. I hope it's big like that. But it's Kirby, so now the biggest news Nintendo dropped, like we kind of mentioned a little before, was one of the creators of Pokemon had announced that Game Freaks is currently developing a full-blown RPG Pokemon game for the Switch. Now, everybody got upset last week when Nintendo Direct had a Pokemon-themed Direct, and they announced... Everybody thought it was going to be like the Sun game or whatever. I mean, Stars, because they have Pokemon Sun and Moon. Everybody thought there was going to be Stars. It was going to be for the Switch. Ultimately, what they announced was that Pokken Tournament game, pretty much a remastered version of the one for the Wii U, which is okay. I mean, like, I'm expecting a lot of remastered versions. I'm hoping Smash Brothers comes out, because that I think is going to be dope on the Switch. I've been hearing a lot of good things about Mario Kart, how it runs. I have Mario Kart, but I haven't played it online. I hear it runs well, like, people are actually able to play with each other and all that. Splatoon and ARMS are really... I don't know if ARMS is out yet, but, like, the review, they were talking about the whole online thing and the way it's formatted, and, like, how you're in the lobby, you can see the progress of current fights going on, like, some shit like that, and it's always changing. So the online community is definitely getting spruced up, which is cool. So I think Super Smash Brothers on the Switch would be fucking big, because what they're doing is the games have the local multiplayer, so you could play with different consoles in the same room or in the same house, but then they also have the online multiplayer, and I'm wondering if they're going to do combinations of the two. Like, say, if we're in the same house, we could play somebody else in, like, Japan. So, like, we could team up and beat them up. So it's almost like playing on the same console, but, like, so there's a lot of possibilities with that. And then they actually announced FIFA, the Switch version of FIFA. Now, it's not going to be the PS4 and 360 version, but it's kind of upsetting, but you got to think of it like it's the first console version, it's the first Switch version of a FIFA game, of a sports game, and if you have ever bought a new console, this is not nothing new, because, like, usually, say, like, with Madden on a new console, we usually get, like, a sort of half-ass version,
Yeah.
so it's like a sort of demo. So that's fine, because I don't think right now at this point Switch sports games are gonna replace your PS4, Xbox One. So like me personally, like if 2K is coming out on the Switch, I'm gonna get it, probably if it's good, but it's not gonna replace the console version I have. So the main console version for now. Well, actually, that never. NBA 2K is go-to on my PS4. I don't care how much I use the Switch. But anyways, to see FIFA, like from the video I saw, the guys say it runs well, like it runs smooth. It's the controls are not like they're catered to the Switch in a sense that it's not like the Wii or the Wii and Wii U where it's like motion control Madden and shit. It's not like that. It's just that it fits they also gave you how you take the Joy-Cons out? They actually have controls specific for that. So it's a simplified version of the regular control, but it works perfectly fine. So it's definitely adaptive, which is cool. And they said it runs smooth. They said it runs at 60 frames per second. It's not bad.
That's good.
1080p on your TV set when it's docked. 720 on portable mode, but I mean, who's really measuring on portable mode for the most part? If you get 480 on a portable mode, that's like so 720 on portable, shit, that's great. So yeah, so we got that. But yeah, so they announced the Pokemon RPG game. So we're going to get, the main Pokemon games we get on the DS and all that. We're getting that on the Switch. They didn't say when. They didn't pull that shit where they show stuff. They just said, look, you're getting it. Just hold tight. It's going to come. So that's cool. So that's something to look forward to. And that shit is going to be huge. And Game Freaks is working on it. So now what that title is going to be exactly, we don't know. We don't know if it's going to be the third installment of the Pokemon Sun and Moon. But oh yeah, and then going back to the Nintendo Direct conference, they announced the Pokken Tournament. They announced Pokemon Sun and Moon Ultra. Now, it's funny when you see some people get mad at that, but then they're gonna go buy the fucking game anyways. So it's like
that's why they get mad, because people like, I have to buy this shit now.
You know what though? But it's like they buy it and they're like, holy shit. I mean, it is kind of weird that they just dropped Sun and Moon like last year, and then it was last year, right?
What?
Sun and Moon came out last year or the year before?
Last
Okay, so it came out last year. They're dropping an Ultra version of it. It's gonna have a lot more shit though, from what they said. I think the story takes place after. So it's kind of like a new game, but whatever. But so yeah, they dropped that news and everybody was a little upset that it wasn't the Switch version of it, but whatever. So then they dropped this ball saying we're getting a Switch version eventually. All right, so and Super Mario Odyssey, we were given gameplay of that, and that's something we didn't even really need gameplay of because we know it's gonna be fucking.
Exactly.
I mean, Super Mario, whether it be those like super crazy 3D games or just a straight side-scrolling platform game, it's Super Mario. When does Super Mario ever really disappoint? That's one thing about Nintendo for the most part. Like, there has not been, to my recollection, a bad Legend of Zelda game. I mean, maybe an okay, but everything's been like good or great.
Zelda games have been solid for the most part.
Yes, like it's very rare like you get anything lower than like an 8 on a Zelda. Kirby games have been Kirby games. Yoshi games have been Yoshi.
Usually all the Nintendo games has been good, except for the Metroid.
Yeah.
That 2D Team Ninja game, that was.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing with Nintendo. The only problem with Nintendo is that sometimes that's all they put out. But hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But it is nice to see there's a lot more third-party shit going on. There wasn't a lot of third-party things announced outside of FIFA and Skyrim, but those are big things. And you gotta understand the Switch just came out. It's a lot of companies are weary about it. But I've been hearing rumors that wasn't Bethesda? Who's the developers of Dark Souls?
Namco, Bandai, one of those teams.
Yeah, whoever there's people involved with those games, and it's the people that run the engines too, the companies that run the engine companies, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like supposedly they're like excited about the Switch, and there was rumors that there's gonna be Dark Souls on the Switch. So we'll see about that. But anywho, so Super Mario Odyssey, that's coming out at the end of this year. Actually, October. I don't. Did they have a date, or did they just say October 2017?
I think they have a date.
What?
Odyssey. Yeah.
October 27th.
Okay, 7? 27th, yeah, that's what I said. October 27th, 2017, we get Mario Odyssey. Super Mario Odyssey. So, see, that's okay when you give us gameplay footage, but then you say it's coming out, and not 10 years from now. So, we got that. Breath of the Wild, like I said before, they dropped the DLC news. They actually gave you a live look of the first batch of the DLC, which includes this big shrine mode where you have to battle to 100 shrines. You start from no weapons, no armor, no shield. You got to battle your way up. It looks really interesting, and it looks like it's gonna be hard. They got a harder mode, a hard mode where everything is amplified. All the enemies their level. So if they're red, which is the weakest, they're automatically higher than that. They have the strongest was white enemies. Well, they look white, but now they're gold. So they're gonna be they're gonna have enemies on platforms and chests on platforms. So you have to do a lot more thinking and strategizing, and that game requires a lot of thinking and strategizing. And then they got new armor and masks and whatnot and a lot of these masks actually have purposes, and armors have purposes. And then they got this one mode where it follows all your steps. But that's just the first batch, which comes out June 30th, which is right around the corner. And then the second batch is the actual story. It's Hyrule Champions or something like that. I don't know what it's about, but it has to do with the champions of that you come across in the game. So, and then they dropped Metroid Prime 4. Just an announcement, just Metroid. They just showed Metroid Prime 4. They actually they're remastering Metro. Which Metroid was it, Chris?
2
2, right?
for
Yeah,
DS.
For
The Return of Samus.
yeah, for 3DS, right?
Yeah, Samus Return.
Yeah. I wonder if they're gonna put 3DS games, if you'll be able to play them on the Switch.
Are they still having 3DS games? I think they killed the 3D on the DS, right?
Oh yeah, I think they killed the 3D. Well, actually, I think so, because I know they had the new 2DS, and the new 2DS looks just like the 3DS, but it's not.
Basically with the 3D turned off.
Yeah, it's not. It's not that that
Yeah.
straight flat one. It actually folds. So and it looks dope. So, but I'm not gonna get it that I have a Switch now. As much as I would love to get it, and the new Pokemon game is gonna be out, I'm gonna stay away from that, because I always do that. I buy a DS, I trade it in because I'm super broke and I'm not gonna use it, and then they drop a Pokemon game, I gotta get it again. So, but yeah, I think I'm done with that. But yeah, so Metroid Prime 4 is coming out. I don't know when. They just announced it, which is okay. It's nice to know that we got that to look forward to. New Yoshi game. They showed gameplay, but not much really. They didn't go into too much detail. I think that comes out next year or at the end of this year. I forget. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Something to look forward to if you're an RPG fan. Now, this is pretty big news here. Rocket League is coming to the Switch. And the biggest thing about that is not only that Rocket League is coming to the Switch, and that they're already talking about how it's gonna work with the local online and online local multiplayer, excuse me, and then online multiplayer. There's going to be a lot of different things going on with that. But the biggest thing they announced was the cross-console play. So just as they announced with Minecraft, you'll be able to play with people on other consoles. So, and that was something that was reported that they wanted to do some months back, but they were waiting on Sony. So I'm assuming Sony said okay. So, and even if they didn't, and say with Rocket League only Xbox and PC and if it's on PC and Switch can play, Sony's gonna have to cave in eventually, because they from what I understand, Rocket League is most played on PS4. I don't think I'm not making that up. I feel like I heard that somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Especially because it was out for free. What was that?
Huh?
Oh, you were.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I was saying okay to you.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I don't know if it was ever free on Xbox, but I know it was free on PS4. and that's when it started like, people just like, oh, what the fuck is this, and they got it, and then now it's become like a phenomenon. And I'm mad that I never got around to downloading it. So, but anywho, so the biggest thing about that, it's not only that it's coming to the Switch, but the cross console, and that's something I've been fucking ever since I heard them talking about that initially, and they were waiting on Sony. I just thought of the possibilities, like, you could bring people who play Call of Duty together. You could bring, more importantly, Grand Theft Auto, but you could bring people that play Call of Duty, Battlefield, fighting games, sports games, and like me and X were talking about on the other episode, it sort of kind of forces companies to work on their console and their console's features and their exclusive games. So, Xbox and Sony and Microsoft have to give you top-notch, exclusives, especially.
Exclusives.
Yeah, but they have to do it.
I know. I understand for the business part. It's just that.
Yeah.
Just imagine you like, hey, I bought this cool Logan DVD, but hey, Samsung DVD players can't play it.
That would suck.
It's that's how I feel with these video games, man. I just wish every gamer could play fucking Halo and Gears of War and shit. So he wouldn't stop that fucking you never played the game, but hey, your game sucks bullshit. Shut up.
That would be good, but too bad they're fucking the company's egos and that money is like. But I mean, look, if we all know the exclusives are always going to be that. Like, Sony's going to get their Uncharted and Crash Bandicoots, and Xbox is going to get their Halos and Gears of War, Nintendo's going to get their Marios. But see, now the thing is, like, you can't, like, alright, they had, Microsoft and Sony both showcased multi-platform games, multi-console games, on their showcase. Was it Xbox had, Assassin's Creed, and I forget what else it was another big-ish one. Sony had Call of Duty, Marvel vs. Capcom, and Destiny. But the thing is now, like, if you have the cross-console, you really can't bank on that. So it's better for the companies and for gaming itself when they got to put out dope games. So, like, you're going to see awesome-ass Left 4 Deads and shit like that, but maybe what actually, like X brought up the other day, Perfect Dark. You got rights for that shit sitting on there. If
they got so many rare games just sitting there waiting that they just I don't.
That could be. It's not the same kind.
If I was the head guy in Microsoft, those would have been my priorities.
Yeah, look, like it's not the same type of game. It's not the same whatever. But if they dropped a Perfect Dark, a top-notch Perfect Dark game, that's their answer to like Uncharted.
Easily.
Yeah, because like right now, Uncharted is a fucking huge title. So you release Perfect Dark, that's like your Uncharted or your Horizon right there. And believe me, with I mean, that shit will kill. It's got a cult following. It's a female protagonist game. So, but yeah. So and that was pretty much it for the gaming news. Like, I think the biggest things for me that stood out were, outside of, like, Spider-Man and whatnot, it was the Minecraft and the Rocket League thing because of the multi-console. Like, I'm really looking forward to being able to play, because, alright, X has both consoles. He gets most of his games on the Xbox, because that's, like, his go-to console. He's not gonna go and buy, I mean, sometimes he's done it. He did it with Injustice, where he bought it for both consoles, but you're not going to spend $120 every time, or $140 every time. Or, if you play mostly on your Xbox and your PS4 is just there collecting dust, you're not going to go and get a game just because I have it for the PS4. Especially if I just have it,
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm the only one and everybody else has it for Xbox. So, it's like, now, like, if you're playing GTA on Xbox, I'll be able to play with you and Jason. And it just, like, even for something like Rocket League, like, you don't have a Switch right now, but I have a Switch. You could be playing that there. I could play that with Jake or some shit, because Jake plays that a lot. So there's a lot of possibilities with that. And the cool thing with the Switch is that you don't have to be home. You could be out at somebody else's house or somewhere where they have good Wi-Fi or whatever, and you could play with somebody who has an Xbox or PS4 at home. Like, I just think that's fucking brilliant. So even if, like, your graphics are not better than their graphics, that doesn't matter, because all that really, I think the main focus with online is just the actual game. So it's like, should be interesting. But that's really, there's no more news for E3 for the most part.
From here on out, they're just interviews and gameplays. I think until Thursday.
Yeah, that's that. No.
Yeah, E3's been disappointing to me.
Yeah.
There's no excitement.
I mean, I'm happy
Other than,
about
like,
things,
2
but I
games.
get what you're like there was not much new shit. But then again, also too, you gotta blame the internet for that, because like now everything's out there and there's no more surprises. So it's like with movies and with conferences like this and Comic-Con and shit, like you already know what's happening
Mm-hmm.
days, weeks, months before it actually happens. So it's like, but I mean, are you picking up an Xbox One X or not anytime soon?
Nah, I don't think I'm picking it up anytime soon.
Yeah, because it was the same. It was the same with me with the PS Pro. Like, it's one of those things where you don't need it, so why get it? You know, I know they both have graphical upgrades. Like I've heard like from people who actually have a PS4 Pro that they said like games look really really good and run really good on it, but I don't have 4K. I don't plan on getting a 4K TV. My shit looks perfectly fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless, knock on wood, may the
I mean,
gods forbid if my PlayStation got fucked up, maybe.
Yeah.
But
I
even
mean,
still,
Unless my TV gets fucked up, I ain't getting a 4K TV.
you know what?
And if that, then I'll probably think about getting an Xbox One X down the road. But right now, if everything's still working, it's staying the way it is.
Dude, the only way I'm getting a 4K TV is if that's the only TV that's available ever. Like they totally discontinue.
Well, 4K TVs is pretty cheap now.
I don't know, dude. I can't watch like what was it? I've told you about my uncle. He had like not 4K, but he had LEDs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And at my job, on one of the floors, they have a TV there. That's also an LED TV, but 4K is almost just the same. But it's like it looks too fucking real. It feels like you're watching them film it, and it's like I was watching like you just watch Transformers on that shit, and it's just like it starts to make those movies that are supposed were unrealistic. It starts to make it look unrealistic.
Yeah.
It's like the beauty with like the first Transformers is that like you felt like the cars were actually transforming in your eyes. Like that was one of the cool things about the first couple movies.
Yeah, until the
yeah,
HD.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude, that Blu-ray, I was like, yuck. I remember watching it on DVD, and I was like, all right, cool. We put the Blu-ray on. I was like, what the fuck? It's gotta, yeah, that's that 4K. I don't need it. I mean, it could look good. That's cool, but my shit looks perfectly fine. So, yeah, hopefully I don't think we're gonna get any special, like, little tidbits and stuff like that. Like maybe like little announcements here or there. Nothing obviously major because the conferences are gone. But who's to say? Some companies are just like, hey, look what we got. Check this out. But honestly, I guess we already know what we're gonna get, so we just gotta wait for it.
Yeah.
I don't think the only thing actually there's one game, Borderlands. That's one game that I actually was hoping we'd see.
You know what? I think it's like I said. I think it's a Take-Two thing. They don't unless it's NBA 2K, and even at that, they don't even.
Usually they'd show it by now.
Yeah.
And we got that
The
trailer.
only the only Take-Two game that I see that they covered so much from time to time is WWE 2K.
Yeah, but you would think Borderlands would be that one that they, because it's a Take-Two game, but it's something a little more. And being that the last Borderlands, not the Handsome Collection, but Borderlands 2, Borderlands 2, and I guess you could say the Handsome Collection because it came out like a year after the pre-sequel, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, maybe like they do something literally right after E3's done.
I mean, Gearbox had this game Battleborn a year, so I think they gave up with that. So
Wasn't there something else coming out with Battleborn, or isn't there like a new update or some shit coming out?
I think they changed it on a free-to-play thing.
Oh,
So
that sucks. I heard that shit was good too.
it's just that Overwatch just killed it.
That's a shame, man. Like, I mean,
That one was alright.
yeah, like I never played Overwatch, and I'm not shitting on it. But like from what I heard for Battleborn was amazing, and it just like maybe not amazing, but it was really good. And you know, Overwatch comes out and just like
Slaughtered it.
whatever. But yeah, I'm hoping maybe like literally right after E3, like Gearbox, not right after, maybe like in the coming weeks, Gearbox says, hey, look what we got. Maybe they want to be their own conference, their own fucking convention or whatever. But yeah, well, at least like the good news of this whole podcast is that the NBA Finals is over.
Yes.
So we don't have to. This shit is not gonna stretch for 17 days. We don't have to fucking make your ears bleed with all this shit. Not that like I think our playoff coverage has been half-assed, but can't blame us when the playoffs has been half-assed. So
Exactly. We knew from the beginning that this is going to be a weak playoff. So.
well, football season's coming.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's good for one of us, not the other. Yeah, sorry.
I ain't mad.
Fuck it. Later.
Haters.